Hi, everyone. Glad you could join me today. I wanted to follow up on a Zoom workshop I did a couple of weeks ago on decluttering, and we ran out of time, but I said I will record some more videos on the categories that are very difficult to declutter, because I know a lot of you had questions about that. So I'm going to do that today. If you missed my original Zoom workshop on decluttering, you can go to my website at jillhartrealtor.com, look under the downsizing tab, and at the bottom of that page, you will find a link to watch that recorded Zoom call. So today, I want to talk about books because that is a category that's near and dear to my heart. I grew up an avid reader. I loved books. If you're familiar with the movie Beauty and the Beast by Disney, Belle had a dream of having a library. That was me. I wanted a room in my house dedicated to nothing but books. Then as an adult, some of you know I homeschooled my children from elementary school all the way through high school. And of course, reading was a big part of our curriculum. I read out loud to them almost every day through junior high school, even a little bit in high school. We listened to books on tape. They were avid readers. So our house was covered in books. We had shelves and shelves and shelves of books. It really got to be overwhelming. So I understand all you book lovers out there. I understand how you feel and how hard it is to part with those books, but there comes a time sometimes that you just need to. And I know we did in our home. So some things that I found helpful is knowing why you have an attachment to a book. Basically, there are basically three genres of books: fiction, nonfiction, and I'm going to make cookbooks their own genre because I had a cookbook addiction for a while, so I get that. So let's talk about those today. Now, a lot of the fiction books maybe that you read, they bring back a lot of memories. Maybe you remember when you were a child and discovered Little Women, or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or some book. And when you see that book that you're keeping, it reminds you of your childhood or your teenage years or your college years or whenever you discovered that book. So that gives us an emotional connection to our books, which makes them harder to let go of. But your logical mind says, you know what, I can get my hands on a copy of that book again if I needed to. So when you're sorting through your books, you need to really remember that. Now, some books are out of print or rare editions. And if that's the case for one of your books, then I would recommend holding on to it specifically for that reason. Of course, nonfiction books, which cookbooks are a subset of, but nonfiction books, sometimes those are hard to get rid of because they remind you of an interest that you had at one time. It's funny, my husband is having a very hard time letting go of his college textbooks. He says, oh, I spent so much time with those books, I just can't let them go. And I tell him, we can find all of this information at our fingertips now, instead of in these huge boxes that we still have stored in our garage. So my family is not perfect. We have not totally decluttered everything. It's a process. So he does not want to get rid of those college textbooks because he has such an emotional connection to those from that time in his life, even though it was over 30 years ago. So I get it, but you need to just really remember, I can get this information so quickly and easily now. And cookbooks, of course, they can have a life of their own. I know I had a cookbook addiction for a long time. It's very hard. You look through it and the recipes look great. Sometimes they have pictures and they just make your mouth water. So I get it. Now, are you keeping cookbooks that you might only want one or two recipes out of? What I'm trying to do is cull through those cookbooks, pick out the few recipes that I think are interesting, and I'll make a copy of them. I have a separate file folder for those. And once a week, I committed to making a new recipe out of the file folder. If I like the recipe, I put it in my permanent binder of recipes with notes on when I made it, how everybody liked it. If it's not so great, I go ahead and throw it away. I don't need it. Recipes are another thing that you can really have at your fingertips through the internet. Of course, you want to save all your old family recipes that are special for your family, especially for the holiday seasons. So I understand that. But if it is in a cookbook and you can make a copy, go ahead and do that. It'll save you a lot of space. So hopefully these tips will help you as you sort through your book collection. If I can be of assistance to you or anybody you know with the downsizing process, please reach out to me. You can find my contact information at jillhartrealtor.com. So see you guys next time.